Well, welcome everybody, and welcome to the Our Take on It, featuring Slim and Shona, or Shona and Slim. I do that for the respective families, because her family wants to hear her name first, and mine wants to hear mine first. So
Who told you
whichever
that?
way you want. But it turns out to be the same either way. But welcome to our show, and of course, this month we're concentrating or focusing on Breast Cancer Month, which you see we have our pink on, and real men wear pink. So I don't want to
I
nobody in the
like it.
comments.
I like it.
I even got my shirt on, but I got a T-shirt on because I don't want to
You
upset you
know what?
ladies.
We're well coordinated. We didn't plan that.
Are.
We didn't plan that. See,
I
this
like
was
that.
meant to be. See, this was meant to be.
It is
But
breast cancer
anyway,
awareness month, so
yes,
we have to
indeed.
represent.
In this segment or this show, we have breast cancer survivors. I have a guest that was on my other show before, and she agreed to come back, Malika Sawyer,
Happy to be
and Shona has a guest that will be joining us a little later. But
Yeah.
Shona, go ahead and tell us about your guest, and you can start us off with the conversation
My guest
tonight,
will
rather.
be Renee. Well, first of all, can I do something else that's a little special?
Yeah, go
okay.
ahead.
I have permission.
Sure.
Yes.
I mean, we equal
All
partners here.
right. Okay.
I'll
Okay.
just shut your mic off if you go too far. Go ahead.
Really? Really? Okay, then, Mr. James Overton. Let me
You
just
know
read
I
the
won't do
mail
that.
to you.
I won't do that. Oh, okay.
I love it.
All right. Okay.
All right, Mr. James Overton. Let me just read a little something, something I just found out. And let me be, maybe not the first, but one of the many, one of your admirers and supporters from our take on it, to congratulate you for having been nominated. Hello? Are you looking like you don't know what I'm talking about?
No, I just got a
For
little
having
distracted. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
been nominated as an honoree for the 12th annual Black Men Rock Image Awards. Yes,
Congratulations.
Yes.
with
Yes, indeed.
I
man.
love it. That's
Yes.
an
What an
honor.
honor for that.
That
Thanks for mentioning that. That is it's a
it
big
is
honor for me
amazing
because I've
and
watched that over the years.
and
Hmm.
and humble.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I love that. I'm sure it's very well deserved. You're just doing the thing, man. I love that.
Yeah.
I
I
love that.
appreciate it.
And
Thanks for mentioning that.
we
And
are very proud of you.
the
Yes.
company I'll be in with the other nominees or honorees is amazing. So you'll get to see that. But thanks a lot for mentioning that. Appreciate
Congratulations,
Yeah,
James.
absolutely.
Okay, my guess, I'll probably mention more about her later on when we introduce her. At this point in time, first of all, how you like the cowboy hat?
Beautiful.
it. I
Thank
love it.
you.
I'm a Cowboy fan,
Okay, I got
and
pink cowboy boots too.
Okay.
yes, indeed.
Yeah,
But
Complete.
and yes, I actually got this for a breast cancer awareness event we had on my job.
Hmm.
But then I thought about it. I live in the country, so we have bullfights. I'm gonna wear my pink to the
Oh, that's
bullfight. That's
interesting.
gonna be so much fun.
Oh, wow.
you live in the country of Georgia, right?
I live in the country. Yes,
Okay, because
we're
Georgia
talking.
has,
We're
everybody
talking
thinks about
country.
Georgia and they think about Atlanta, but people don't realize most
That,
people live on the outskirts of
ooh,
Atlanta.
James, let me tell you, I was in for culture shock. I went and
Yeah,
stayed. I went and
bullfight.
stayed. Once I retired, I retired and came back to work. So while I was retired, I figured, oh, I can do some things now, just whatever I feel like doing. I decided I was going to go and stay with my brother for a while, my brother and my sister-in-law in the country in Twin City, Georgia. Okay.
Okay.
So I went and stayed with them for about a year. And when it came time for me to move out, my sister-in-law was just, hell bent on keeping me somewhere close. So I'm trying to find a place back in Atlanta where I had lived for 30 plus years. Okay. And she started looking for a place in in her area. So she came up with one before I could come up with one in Atlanta. So fast forward to Swainsboro, Georgia. So found a cute little place in Swainsboro, Georgia. Move in. Had absolutely no idea this place was literally like Mayberry RFD. When I tell you, I was in the bank one day and I asked, well, first of all, I didn't have work and transportation when I moved in there. So I tried to take an Uber to Walmart, go get some things that, I'm just waiting for somebody to pick up this ride. So that never happened. So fast forward maybe a few days, a week later, I have to go to the bank. Went to the bank, and the teller waited on me and said, "Thank you. Is there anything else I can do for you?" So I said, "Well, yeah. Can you tell me if you have Uber or Lyft here? Because I tried to get one. I waited over an hour." She said, "Well, I just moved back here." So she says, uh, she yells out into the lobby, the really busy lobby with four people in line.
Hmm.
She said, "Do we have Uber or Lyft here?" So there was this one lady in the line. She said, "Oh, now we had a taxi driver, but he just died." I said, "What? You could have pushed me over with your forefinger." I said, "What?" She said, "Yeah, he just died and he was doing so good." Oh my God, what have I got myself?
One taxi, and once he died, that was it for the
The
taxi
end.
service.
About 70, and
Ba-
he had that one taxi. So now there's no public transportation, there's no bus,
Back to a
nothing,
horse and buggy.
pretty much.
Someone can make a killing. Someone can just step right into his shoes and
Pretty
pick up
much.
where he left
Yeah.
off.
And when I tell you it's so country, when I go home most weekends, I have to try to play beat the sun because there's this one stretch of highway near my home. It's about 13 miles long. When I tell you, when the sun goes down, it's pitch dark. The
Well,
cold,
I thought
the
you were gonna
roads
say you
are
lived in a
curving.
sunset.
The
Thought you say
roads
you can live in a sunset city.
the roads are curving. So if I'm on this stretch of road, which is only two lanes, coming and going,
Yeah.
if a tractor trailer is coming towards me, all I can see is bright lights. I
Oh
can't
wow.
see where I'm driving my car. I don't know where the curve is in the road. So it's really dangerous.
Yeah.
So when I say I
Yeah.
have to beat the sun, I literally have to beat the
Have to
sun or
beat
I
the
will wait
sun.
till the next day.
To
But
be
Shona,
safe.
that brings up a question, and
Yes.
sort of segue into our subject here. In towns like that, as far as medical help or people that might go through some things like breast cancer or emergencies or something like that. What do they do? What's the nearest hospital? And especially now, what they're talking about, a lot of the rural hospitals are closing because of lack of funds. But what do people do? I mean, they have to travel quite a ways to get any kind of health treatment. And I'm thinking
Negative.
about somebody that's dealing with a breast
Negative.
cancer or something like that. What?
Negative. One of the reasons I moved there is because just about anything I need is within a 3 to 4 mile radius, including the
Okay.
hospital.
Okay, so it's not that far in Booger's Woods. It's close enough to get adequate treatment. So
Yes.
okay,
But you still need a car. I am of a certain age and I don't want to walk 4 miles to the hospital.
Agreed.
yeah,
But when I tell you, it's it's the population is less than 8,000,
Okay.
wow. So everybody knows everybody. Everybody's a cousin. Every other person is a cousin
except me because
except you.
I stay, in my lane. We're not doing that. Okay.
But wow, but a lot of people that live there live in those kind of situations, and they just say Atlanta because it's easier to describe that, and most people but most people that move to Georgia, they
Mhm.
actually don't live in Atlanta, but we automatically think most people might work there. That's why the traffic is like it is going there. But
It's
most
it's
people live in
insane.
those.
It's insane.
I would see
It's
that as
really,
a bit of a solitude, something that is relaxing. To go home to that after dealing
I
with the hustle
refuse.
and bustle.
I refuse to leave there, which is why I rent a room here in Atlanta to work.
You're right.
I'm
To
working a
work,
temporary
yes.
job, and I know I'm going back home. So Atlanta is close enough so that if I just really have to come see family or visit or whatever, I'm only 3 hours away. It's a nice little road trip, but I can't move back here. I don't miss the crime or the traffic. It's insane.
Yeah,
I would probably become a recluse if I stayed here. That's how bad it is.
yeah.
Wow.
Any kind of crime happen in those places where you are, it'd be on one of those shows like 48 Hours,
It's yes.
where those shows
I
where
actually
a murder
know.
and it's
I
usually
know.
the cousin that does it.
I know some people who have been on 48 hours.
Oh wow,
That's
Yeah.
just
interesting.
brought that up. Yeah, I mean
And
that's
where
those places. Uh,
where I
that's
live
those
in
places that you
Atlanta,
see those things happening.
that's right. Where I live in Atlanta,
One show.
first of all, it's the same county that was trying to prosecute the president. That's the county I'm in.
Oh,
Okay.
oh
Okay.
wow, y'all better
And
watch out.
I
It's
live
Right.
coming
I
after
live
all of
off
you.
of I live off of MLK, which, as you know, in any city, MLK, what they're known for.
Right.
I rent a room in a basement in a house. Here where I am, when I look at the news every morning, usually at least 2 to 3 times a week, I see on the news where something has happened within like a 3 mile radius. Somebody got killed, stabbed, whatever. I never hear anything, never see anything, but I'm right here. I'm right around the corner from Morehouse. That's where I usually go
Okay.
and fill up my car,
Yeah.
at the gas station across the street from
Yeah,
Morehouse.
I know that area. That's not too
Hmm.
far from where Martin Luther King grew up.
Exactly.
His house
Like I
is.
said, I live off of MLK Drive. I live on
Yeah,
Morris Brown Drive. Okay, that tells you what area I'm in.
whatever
Hmm.
you're in, I know exactly where you are. Yeah.
Hmm.
So, Valika, in the beginning, we kind of talk about some of our experiences. This being a new channel, we want people to get to know us and know who we are and where we are and what we're about. So, the first few minutes we spend sometimes talking about the great I.C. Northam, high school, or one of our experiences about where we live. But we are coming to the subject, and I want to ask you real quick.
Absolutely.
Uh, since you were on the show last and you had a chance to really, and you're going to talk about some of those things tonight, and you had a chance to sit back and say, "Wow, I actually went on there and talked about some things that I never thought I would talk about in public." How did you feel after that? How did you feel, once you got home and thought about it, or had a chance to look back at the video and say, I actually did that? Was it therapeutic for you?
It
Did you
was. It
wish
was
you
kind of
hadn't said
scary.
that much or what?
No, 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 no. I was okay. when we first began, I'm answering questions and that sort of thing. And I end up sharing more than I thought I would. I actually didn't even think about it. It just came out.
Just came
So it
out.
was like a purge. So when I was done, I was like, that was good. That felt pretty good. And I didn't even think about most of the stuff I was saying. It just fell from my lips. I even
But
had a friend reach out to me last week to say, "Hey, this time last year you shared with me your diagnosis, and I want to let you know you're a strong survivor." And the crazy thing was, I was sitting there trying to figure out, when did this happen? I had to go back and look at my records, and then I texted her back. I said, "Thank you so much for being so kind and remembering," but that was 2 years ago.
yeah,
That's how much time had passed. I didn't even think about it. All I know is I'm healthy and I'm moving on. So I guess after your show, I must have closed the door.
yeah, because
Didn't think
you
much
know,
of it afterwards because I just felt like it was a huge purge and I felt better and I actually moved on.
and you probably helped someone too,
I did. I did.
to do the same thing,
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
what we talked about. Because I wasn't expecting some of the things you revealed. I knew you were going to talk about your experience, but
Mm-hmm.
I was happy that you went all the way because I know from experience how much it helps to talk about as much as you want to or
Mm-hmm.
completely about what you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
And I had that same experience and had all these people telling me, "Man, I'm glad you said that because it helped me." I didn't go through what you went through, but I related it to another situation I was in. So
Right.
yeah,
Right.
we appreciate that.
I
Yeah.
So
can
go.
totally relate to both of you when
Mhm.
I shared my story. The first thing, once we went off the air, James, first of all, I don't drink very much or very often, but I was so nervous. I drank a half a bottle of wine before.
I totally couldn't tell,
I mean, I
but
was, and it was fruity too. It was like Kool
yeah,
Aid. I was just drinking. So by the time we went on the air, I was just already relaxed.
I was so
But
nervous.
after it was over with, once we went off the air, I was still looking at the computer, and I was like, I did that. I did
mm,
that.
Did.
I did that. I was really happy.
And
It
it
and
was
feels
and
good,
good.
sharing the story. And
yeah,
after that text message, and I spoke with my friend and told her that was 2 years ago. It's so funny because I didn't even remember how long it had been. I told her thank you and thinking it was last year, and I had to actually go back and look at my records. Thing is, that was the first time I decided to share my story on Facebook, social media. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people were thinking, I had no idea she had been going through all of that because I always put a smile on. I'm always pushing through. And so I had some people reach out. I was like, I'm so sorry. No, 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 no. I'm fine. I'm fine. It's just that I just thought it was time for me to put it out there. Now I did that with the podcast back in May, but I never put it on social media or anything like that. And so that reached other people that they didn't know, and they decided to ask me a few questions to help them get through what they were going through. And I love it. I'm
yeah,
here to help anybody get through if they need to talk about it, if they need to know what I did in order to get through. I'm happy to share that information.
yeah, and also explains to some people that might have caught you on a day where you were dealing with something and they didn't understand why is she acting out like that? What did I do to her? But you were really it might have been that on your way home from the doctor after your doctor told you, well, you have stage, or whatever he told you,
Wow.
when you first found out,
Yeah,
and you can kind of, if you want to share that experience with us,
sure.
that,
Please
that
do,
initial,
because I
Yeah.
wasn't there. I want to
yeah,
hear your story.
yeah,
Thank God for 3D imaging and good health insurance because just a routine mammogram. I went in and got my test done. I mean, my mammogram done. And then they called me back and said, hey, we want you to come back in and do, you want to check it again because we saw something. Oh, it's nothing. I'm sure. We see this all the time. I go in, get that done. Then they call me back and said, okay, we're going to set up a biopsy for you because, you know, we don't know what this is. I get in there and I'm poor lady. I asked her like 50 million questions. I know she was thinking I am not the doctor, ma'am. But I asked her, I said, well, what is it you're seeing? They said, we see a calcium buildup. And I'm thinking, calcium buildup, bones, maybe, you know, I'm thinking calcium. I don't know anything about this. And I said, well, explain that to me. What does that usually mean? I'm sorry, but usually when you see that, it's cancer related. So then I'm really scared. They do the biopsy. The doctor's reassuring me, oh, I had the same thing done. It's probably nothing. Don't worry about anything. 2 days later, I'm at the sink washing dishes. Miss Sawyer, I'm so sorry. You have cancer, breast cancer. And I'm standing there with the dishes in my hand, and she's asking me if I have any questions. My first question was, what did you say? I thought that you said that, you know. Okay, long story short, it was not handled very well. After
On the
that,
phone,
she
you
said,
know that.
yes. So
Yeah.
she told me, if you have any questions, just call us back at any time. This is the imaging center. The doctor, I was speaking with the doctor. And so I let a few hours pass because that was that morning. I let a few hours pass and then I called back because that by then I had questions. Long story short, that was the last time I talked to her when she called and told me I had cancer because she put me off on everybody and had me call a hernia doctor to remove the cancer from my, yeah.
A hernia doctor.
I couldn't get any more information other than who she assigned me to. That's why you have to be an advocate for yourself. So
Yeah.
once I got the doctor's information, because I couldn't get anything else from the imaging center, the doctors didn't want to talk to me or anything like that. So I did some research and found out he was a hernia doctor. And that's fine if that's what he specializes in. And when I have a hernia, I just might give him a call. I have breast cancer. And so with that, he was supposed to call. And I was going to tell him, that's okay. Thank you for giving me a call. He didn't call. No one called me. That was 3 weeks of not having any conversations with anyone. So I made an appointment with my PCP. Did I say that right? Personal care. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I made an appointment with her and she is fabulous. She said, Valika, I am so sorry this happened to you. I'm going to put you in contact with this team of doctors. And trust me when I say this is the best group of doctors I've ever. I didn't worry about another thing after my first appointment. I knew I was in good hands.
Good.
After much prayer, she set me up with this doctor, well, this team of doctors, and I'm telling you, it was the best experience. You know, considering what I was going through, it was a very good experience. So, I mean, it's bad enough to have breast cancer, but then you don't trust the doctors that you're working with or that's working with you. That's not good. So, yeah, long story short, it didn't start out good, but it ended up being a good thing. I got with the right doctors and the best care, and here I am today having this conversation with you guys.
So you opted for radiation?
I had them remove both breasts, bilateral mastectomy. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
They didn't want to because the left breast is healthy tissue. They don't want to remove healthy parts, but I asked them, can you guarantee me I won't get cancer in the other breast? And he said no. And I said, I can guarantee you I won't. Take both breasts off. So that's what we did.
And I think you said on the last time, rather than take the chance or go through that again, and it's different for every patient.
That's true.
That's true. Sometimes they suggest, because it shows evidence of spreading,
Right.
and if it doesn't show evidence of spreading, the possibility is still there. Then you have to
Right.
go through that whole thing again,
I
and
don't
you
ever
don't
want
want it
to
to masticize. Is that the right word? Where it
Yes, I
start,
got you. Yes. Mm-hmm.
start spreading, through your lymph nodes and every place else, and that's one
so
of the
did
best
they
ways.
do both at the same time?
They did. And
Okay.
I believe initially I was supposed to have maybe 1 or 2 lymph nodes removed, and they end up taking out 8, I believe. And so now my right arm is a limb wrist, So I have to, well, I can't get any blood draws or anything done on this right arm. So when I go back to the doctor's office in a few months, I'm going to see if that's like forever or just for a certain amount of years,
Mhm.
because there are some things I would like to do that's going to involve my right arm, but right now I kind of baby it. I don't use it as often as I should, or I would not. I'm just worried about lymphedema. So
Mhm.
that's something that they told me that would develop if I had blood draws and blood pressure checks and stuff done on the right arm. So
And
yeah.
Shona, that's one of those reveals that none of us on the feed that night were expecting to come up. Because most of the time, you're talking about your breast cancer and your experience, but you don't go that far to tell,
Hmm.
about the actual operation like that. And it also sparked the other guests to say the same thing. And I
Hmm.
Yeah,
don't think she was planning to do that either.
not
Yeah.
at all.
And her thing was that how devastating it was for her. And I can imagine, and Shona, I'll let you take over this part because I can't talk on this. But for a woman, you grow into your womanhood, and that's the part of you. That's a part of you. It's there. They are there for a purpose to feed the children, but it is a part of everything that says woman. You know,
Yes.
uh, your breast, and we as a society make it more sexual, but that's neither here or there. But uh, they talk about that part of it. You know something that's so personal to you as being a woman, and then having to make that choice like that. You know, because it doesn't take anything from your womanhood as you being a woman per se, but the perception that men and women might have. No, I'd rather, and to put it blankly, someone rather pass away than lose those.
That may
To
I
be
say
blunt.
that is very perceptive of you as a man to have
Hmm.
that sensitivity to women. And Miss Valika, kudos to you. You did that. That is
Oh,
so brave. I love your story. And you are sitting
thank you.
here beautiful. No
Oh,
one
thank
could
you.
ever look at you and tell that you've been through anything like that.
I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear that. Thank you so much for saying so.
You keep on keeping on. Hey, Renee.
Hello.
Hey, I made it.
You
Hello, Renee.
made it.
Made it.
Wow. Well,
Oh,
guys, I'd like
Yeah.
for you to meet my coworker, Miss Renee Miller. We've worked together for some decades. I even retired
yes.
and came back, and she was still there waiting for me.
No, she was. We glad to have you back.
Thank you, Renee. And she has
Oh,
agreed to come on this evening and tell us about her breast cancer journey. Miss Renee, how did you find out that you had?
okay. Just like I've been doing for a number of years, I've been going every year to get my mammogram. Every year was fine until 2017 when I went and got that mammogram, and they all the ladies that was in the room with me, they had left, and they told me to stick around, and they told me to do that I may need to do an ultrasound. So because they kind of, I guess something looked suspicious. So took around, I mean, stayed around, took the ultrasound, and then that's when they found a lump. I guess because I never did feel the lump because I guess I wasn't feeling it right. I guess it was really small. So that was when I discovered, well, they gave me the report and they told me, they couldn't tell me anything. They just said, take this to your primary doctor. And so that was 2017. That was April or May of 2017. I took the report to the doctor and she looked at it and she said, okay, I'm going to refer you to a, breast specialist, oncologist, or something like that. So the one that she referred me to, I looked her up online, and I said, no, I don't want to use her. So I found my own breast surgeon. Yes, I found my own breast surgeon because I looked her up and I see, her credentials and everybody liked her. She had good reviews. So I say, well, let me go to her. So she was real helpful because I was so nervous. I was so scared, and she was so patient, and she's very spiritual, and she has all these spirituals writings around her office. And she had her staff to hold my hand. She said, well, we're gonna do a biopsy and we're gonna see what that would tell us. Okay, so we did the biopsy. So the hard part about the biopsy, well, they even held my hand during the biopsy. So she had a real good supportive staff. And when the hard part too was waiting until the results of the biopsy. And the biopsy, she sent it off to the pathology, and the pathology said, yes, this is breast cancer. And the type of breast cancer that I had is triple negative. And triple
Mm.
negative, yeah, it's a very
That mean?
aggressive.
Aggressive,
Yeah.
Yes,
very
very,
aggressive, and mostly
yeah.
common in African American women.
You have
Oh.
African American and Hispanic women. Yes,
Mm.
it's a very aggressive breast cancer.
Okay.
So she, see, then I had learned a lot because I didn't know it was so many different breast cancers. I
Yeah, I
thought
did.
breast cancer was a breast cancer.
Mm.
Yeah.
But it's so many different types.
Hmm.
So she said, well, you have the most aggressive one, but you're going to be okay. We're going to take care of you. And since you're so sensitive and so scared, I'm going to send you to an oncologist who would take time to explain everything to you. And he was so good. His name is Dr. Simbo Ajalu. He's a Nigerian.
Okay.
And he explained the triple negative breast cancer to me. And he said, well, I recommend that you take chemo since it's an aggressive breast cancer. I said, I don't want to take chemo. I just don't want I say I don't want to take chemo because you hear so much about it and you see what people you look at it, you've seen people get sick from it on TV, the way people in the movies act like they died and but I was just so scared because I said, oh no. Because
It's
I said,
all
now how
new.
I'm gonna
It was all
tell
new.
Yes, I said, how am I gonna tell my mother? How am I gonna tell my son? And my mother took it pretty good because she was going through her own kind of health problems too. So she did pretty good. But my sister and my son was so supportive. So what they did, what my breast cancer surgeon did, she said, well, we're gonna get this. I said, well, I'm gonna be ready to go. I want to get this on and over with. So when I went back to my job, uh, the next day I just said, I'm going to take a short-term disability because I want to get this done. I don't want to have to think about work. I just want to get all this over with, all my treatments over with. So what I did was, apply for short-term disability, and which was, we was fortunate to have that at AT&T and get your full paycheck because, based on how many years of service you have.
That's right.
Yeah, but anyway, okay, the surgeon, so she scheduled my surgery. She said, we're gonna get this done. The faster you can get in, the faster you can get this over with. Okay, so I had my surgery on May the 6th of 2017. And before we went into surgery, she prayed, she said a prayer and she did what she needed to do. And it was at Northside Hospital, and they were very, the staff was very good there. And I had the surgery. I had the surgery, what you call a lumpectomy.
Hmm.
Yeah, where they don't remove the breast; they just only remove the
The lump.
tumor.
Yes.
Yeah, the lump. So she said, since you say it is small enough that we could just remove the tumor. So I was glad that I didn't have my breast removed. Okay, and then she lined me up with the oncologist, and that's the one where he went through the whole dynamics of explaining it and writing everything just like an instructor, like a professor to tell me everything what goes on with triple negative and what kind of treatment and what kind of chemicals he was going chemo chemicals I was going to be using. So he said I was going to be using the most aggressive one because we want to, you know, tackle this thing. And another thing that I was fortunate enough that she said that it was caught early enough because I was just stage 1B. Yeah, it was stage 1B. And she said a weekend, but still, since it's an aggressive cancer, we got to attack it, aggressively. So let me see. And then my oncologist, he sent me to the cab, what's that, Hillendale Hospital, Emory Hospital, to get a port. And so I would recommend anybody who want to take any type of blood to get a port or surgery, because the port is so much easier because you have to be going often, for the chemo treatments. So I got my port installed. And then next thing I know, I was getting the chemo treatments. So the chemo treatments were, in the beginning, I was scared because I don't know what kind of effects it was going to do. Or he said, well, we know your hair is going to fall out. I said, okay, well, I was ready for a new hairstyle anyway, so I didn't care. I didn't care. I said, I just want to get all this over with. I said, because you can put on a wig, you can get a wig, you can
That's right.
get by with no hair. Yeah. He said, yeah, you look good. He said, they get you some pretty earrings to put on. You look good. And I did, because I wore scarves and all that type of thing. So, but in the beginning, his staff was really nice, and he went through the procedure and tell him what was going to go on, and he gave me a booklet to tell me what could possibly. Everybody don't have the same after effects. Now I was fortunate, but he told me you may have nausea and let me see, pain or something like that. And I was fortunate enough that he gave me the medication for nausea. He said, take these when you first get home, then you won't, before you got to attack the nausea before it starts. If you don't, it's going to continue on. So yeah, I took the medicine that he gave me. And let me see. And so I did that for about every 2 weeks. Chemo 1 week, off the next week. Chemo 1 week, off the next week. Okay, I took my chemo on a Wednesday. The next day I was fine. The By Friday, the chemo gave me bone pain.
Mm.
It made me really tired. So all I did was just go to sleep all that day long. So you can recuperate on your off week, and then you got to start right back again until your treatments are over. And then after the treatment, well, I did that for about let me see, from June through October. Okay, so in October, the oncologist set me up with a radiologist. So I had to get 6 weeks radiation, and that wasn't really hard. So that's just a matter of getting into the machine, and they targeting the tumor, where the spot where the tumor is. So, but anyway, so I was finished with that the week before Thanksgiving. And after the week of Thanksgiving, I was able to go back to work. So my journey, I didn't get as sick as some people uh got sick. Everybody's different. Everybody's different. The chemo and the treatments, it affect people differently. Some people really did get, sick where they had to go in the hospital. Some people had to stop. I mean, when I went to the clinic, I could tell that some people couldn't come back the next day because they had to heal before they take their next treatment. But I was able to continue on because I was, God really looked after me, because I was just so scared. Because when you hear somebody tell you got cancer, I thought they would. When she told me I had cancer, I said, "You sure you got the right person?" Because I was never sick. I didn't feel sick. I
Wow.
wasn't hurting. I was going to work every day.
Right.
So I say, you sure you got the right person? Because I wasn't feeling sick. But
That's
anyway,
amazing.
yeah, and I was the key to breast cancer. I would recommend everybody to get their mammograms every year. Every
Absolutely.
year, get the mammograms. I started getting my mammograms when I was 40. Yeah, I was 40 years old, and I had been going every year.
And
And every year I'm to the age I am now. So
generally
yeah,
speaking, that is the age that where you should start getting them, is at 40.
yeah, that's the age when insurance will start paying for it too. So yeah, so yeah, that's really what it is. when the
Mhm.
It's
insurance
well
gonna
worth
start
it.
paying for it. But yeah, I started right at 40, and I have to go. Yeah, I go once a year because I at in the beginning of my breast treatments, I was going twice a year, but now since I'm in my 8th year, I go only once a year now. So, and I only go to the oncologist once a year. So I'm
Amen.
8 years. Yeah, I'm an 8 year breast cancer survivor.
Let me ring the bell for both of you ladies. Thank
Yeah.
you.
uh, I mean, how many years
Yeah.
are you? What was your name? I missed your name.
Malika.
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 October 5th was 2 years when I was diagnosed. So my last surgery was November last year,
Okay.
2024. Yeah, but I'm good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look good. Yeah,
And
you look
I,
pretty
Malika
good.
is
I am
located
good.
in
Check me done.
Virginia.
Renee, I
And
think
I
one
had
of
both
the
of mine removed.
yeah,
What's that? And so clearly you're happy with your results. Just having to do that.
Oh, yes, yes. As results, so far, so good. You still mentally
Yes.
thinking that I hope it every time I go have my mammogram, I hope they don't find anything because that's still
Right.
gonna be in the back of your mind that it could reoccur.
Right.
And I have heard, people saying there's a reoccur. And my oncologist told me he said if you can pass the third, when it comes to triple negative, if you could pass the third and the 5th year, the chances are coming back of, gets lowered.
Okay. I didn't
Yes.
know that. Okay. I learned something new.
yeah.
Yes.
I
Okay.
think Renee. I think one of the another thing you mentioned that's important, to get the mammograms. But you said in the beginning, I think Belika said it too, to advocate for yourself. You didn't just say, okay,
Yes.
whoever they suggested for you, said, well, let me check this person out. And then when
Right.
you checked them out, that
Kudos.
that didn't satisfy you,
Yeah.
so you were able to go somewhere else where they were a hand holding, faith holding
Yeah.
group
I
of
needed that
people,
type of person. God know
and you
I needed
needed
that
that.
type
So
of person.
you have to go where you feel comfortable. And
Yes.
Velika, you
Yeah.
did the same thing
Yes.
because of the
Otherwise, you would
experience
have
you had.
removed.
They started
Right.
out wrong,
Right. It would have
by
been looking
not
for a
being as
hernia
personal.
instead of breast cancer.
Yeah, you said,
Yeah,
hey, that's great.
you
So,
already afraid. You're already scared. So you need
mhm,
I don't like me. I needed somebody to hold my hand and uh get me through this and
pray.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, pray with me. It was just too scary. So you I was lucky to find her. Yeah, she
I
Right.
was
know
she was
that's,
really
I know
good.
that's also, Renee, I have to give a shout out to Northside Hospital. I know you mentioned them. I shared
Yeah.
on our last podcast that I had a scare. It wasn't breast cancer, but I did have a lump in my breast, and my doctor at Northside Hospital was the one who detected it. And they were really, really good. They took me from the rooter to the tutor, everything that needed to be
Mhm.
done.
Yes.
When my mother came here from Virginia, and when it was time to remove the lump to test it, um, she asked them if she could go back with me when they came to take me from her in the waiting room. They said, no, ma'am, I promise you we're gonna take real good care of her, and we're gonna return her just like we're
Oh,
picking her
yes.
up from you. So I thought that was so
Yeah.
endearing. But
Yes.
Northside Hospital is on, and that was something like, mm, I'm gonna say maybe 25 years ago.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That's 25. Okay.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
yes.
Yeah.
So it wasn't cancer, thank God, and they were the ones who actually found the lump because I never even knew I had it,
See,
and
I didn't know I had a lump either. I didn't, because some women have what you call dense breasts,
I was about to say
whatever
that.
that means. Yes, and you may not be able to feel it. So that's why you need, to me, I think women need to take ultrasounds instead of along with the, a mammogram because the ultrasound could pick up more than a mammogram. And because I've had breast cancer, my oncologist recommended me to get a 3D mammogram. So I
Yeah.
guess what that does, it 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 shows a lot more. So my mammograms may be a little bit different than just the average mammogram. So I get the 3D mammograms now,
Yeah.
but I think an ultrasound really can show a lot more than a mammogram.
That's true. And let me also add or reiterate that your family history has a lot to do with your propensity to get
Hmm.
breast cancer. So, because even though my lump was benign, I still had to shout out to Northside Hospital. I had to go back every 3 months for like a couple of years
Yeah,
to get a mammogram. So they kept a close check on me because I was high risk. So
right.
shout out to Northside Hospital if you're in Atlanta, ladies.
Where you need to be then.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Let me
again,
ask you, ladies, how important it is to, Malika, you talked about, sharing so much on the last video. How important it is to share as much as you can with family members or close friends because they're going to end up being your real support system.
Oh
And
wow.
and
Yes.
another thing, some
That's
people
important.
in certain situations, because everybody's different, might need counseling along with
yes,
the medical treatments because the mind is a crazy thing. It can
It
take you
really is.
in different directions, and some people are strong enough
mhm,
to advocate for themselves or to handle
Hmm.
or to face what they're going through. But without that support system, well, first
exactly.
your faith,
Yes.
Mm,
and
That's
whatever
absolutely.
what
you
the
believe
whole.
in, you have to have that
Yeah,
faith and your
yeah,
support system, which is usually family and close friends, and then
yeah,
if necessary, that extra counseling. How
That's
important you
that's
all
true.
think that is?
Um,
yeah.
the
And I did
interesting
have a.
thing is, oh, I'm sorry, Renee. I didn't mean to talk over
Oh,
you.
I'm sorry. Yes, my support system, my son, and he went. He would take off from work to go with me to my treatments all the time, and he was very supportive. He was. I guess he was afraid he was gonna lose his mama. So
Mm,
and
Oh,
so he went with me to the doctor, and he would ask the doctor all kind of questions. He was just like a mature young man. I mean, well,
oh,
he's 35 now, but 8 years ago he was in his 20s, and he was real supportive, driving me to my treatments, asking the doctor, different questions or this and
yeah,
that,
sometimes
and
it's questions
making
you
sure
don't
I
think
was
to
okay.
ask.
that is exactly right.
That's true.
When you're
Yes,
going when you're going through any major illness, you do need an advocate
yes,
to ask questions and to bounce ideas off of. Oftentimes, when you're sick, I don't care what kind of sickness it is. Sometimes you are not in the right frame of mind to even make
exactly.
a decision about your own health because
Yeah,
you're
you're not
going
focused.
through it. Yes, you're going
Yes.
through it.
Mm-hmm.
Your mind is busy with other
Yeah.
things, okay, and you can't make a sound decision because the doctor might say, well, I think I'm going to have to cut this arm off. You can do that, and that way you won't have any more problems with that arm. And you're in so much pain, you'd be like, cut it off, just
Right.
cut it off.
Hmm.
Which of course isn't a good decision to make. That's exaggerating, but you get my
Right.
point. You
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
definitely
and
need.
and again too, on my first I think my sister was there with me also. She went to the doctor with me because I I was just in Twilight Zone. I still couldn't believe it.
You're
So she
overwhelmed.
was because it was just so much coming at me at one time. So she was there to, along with my son to to listen to the doctor, to ask questions and this
Exactly.
and that. And also, you had mentioned that right 2 years after my breast cancer, my sister had it too.
Oh
And she had
my.
the same kind, but now she's in her
Oh,
sixth or seventh. She may be in her sixth year.
Good.
Yeah, so she's finished with all her treatments. So, you know,
So
they don't
definitely a
know what
family history.
causes it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be genetics. It could be
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
They can never tell you because I asked my doctor, I say, what caused it? So you won't have to, so you can know what not to do. But they can't tell you that because it could be a number of things.
genetics
But
definitely play a part.
yet,
Yeah.
And another reason, looks like we lost Renee for a minute. Another reason that you need someone else to support you, if not several people, is because you're so overwhelmed with information. It's a lot to process. You can't even, you're just trying so hard to process everything going on that you may forget when and what medications to take, all of that sort of thing. You need someone to
Mhm.
help with your immediate care
Yeah.
at
Now
all
I want
times.
to add something.
Sure.
I was so lucky, I guess, blessed. It sounds strange when I'm saying it. My best friend from high school, she was diagnosed in August. So she called
Mhm.
me and told me she had breast cancer, and I'm trying to figure out, well, how can I best support her so we can get through this? And then 2 months later, I end up with the same diagnosis, the exact same diagnosis. So we
Yeah.
actually went through this thing together.
That's
Now,
good.
so what we would do is compare notes. So what did you say? What's the process? How
Yeah.
long is it going to take? What kind of medication are you on? So we went step by step. Anything she goes to the doctor, she's going to call me. I go to the doctor, I'm going to call her. Like I said, we're comparing notes the whole
Yeah.
time. And as far as the support outside of her, my family, my friends, I had a huge support system. And
That's
even
good.
Yeah.
financially speaking, you don't need to worry about anything because it actually adds
Mm.
to the
Right.
illness. But my
Yeah.
family, my sisters, my children, my parents, they stepped up because I couldn't work, and
Mhm.
they were taking care of bills and stuff, so I didn't have to worry about that. A lot goes into that. I mean, yes,
Absolutely.
I'm out of work, but it doesn't just stop there. I can't just worry about the cancer diagnosis except it's self. I have to worry about the bills and stuff that I can't pay and stuff. And
Yeah.
you know what? Even then, I realized while I was out, I've been living above my means. So I had to check myself.
Oh, yeah.
I
But
was too
yeah,
embarrassed to even say, yes, I
yeah,
have
because you
this
remember
and that.
you said you owned a daycare center,
I did. I
and
owned a
and
daycare.
was all that going on when you were owning while you were, because you owned the daycare center, but you also had another job, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or
No,
the
when I was diagnosed,
oh
that was the only thing I was doing.
okay, okay,
I
but
have a
you
little
definitely
hustle
couldn't.
spirit, so I like little businesses and stuff like that. But at the time, that's all I was doing.
Okay,
But so yeah, I mean, it was an eye opener. It wasn't just I had a cancer diagnosis that I had to live with. It opened my eyes to the way I was living
Mm.
yeah,
and what was important and what's not important.
That's good stuff.
And so,
Exactly.
yeah. And so my
Uh,
daughter, it's just me and my son up here, and my husband, but my husband is from here, but I'm from South Carolina. So my family was there. My daughter showed up in the middle of the night before my surgery just to make sure she was there. And yep. And so she took good care of me. My husband did. And like I said, I had a great support system. I had everybody praying for me. It's a good feeling because you
It
find out
is.
who your friends are and
Yes.
who loves you in a time of need.
Yeah. I
So
tell
because
you, my
believe it or
coworker.
not,
Oh, yes.
believe it or not, there are some people that try to be so secretive and don't want
yes,
anybody to know.
yeah,
And by the time people find out, they're well into stage
yes.
4,
That
Right.
is
and
so
and
true.
it's
Right.
almost too late then for anybody
Right.
to do anything for you just because you wanted to
Keep it to
hold that
yourself.
within. So you need to share this kind of information
Uh-huh.
with people.
You should share
Swallow
this.
your
That's why I
pride,
didn't mind
whatever.
doing this.
Uh,
I don't mind talking about it. If someone has
Uh-uh.
questions, I would love to tell you what I went through
Yep.
and walk you through if I can, with any give you answers to any questions you may have help you, I will.
yeah,
That's just the
Wow.
bottom line because
because
we should
it's people out there
we should
like that.
share with each
It's
other.
people out there like that.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what? I had some facts to share, but we won't get to them this evening because this has been
Oh my
really
goodness.
great. I have to
We've been online
commend.
for an hour.
Exactly.
This is good
I
stuff.
have to commend both of you ladies for being so open about your
Yeah.
journey, and I have to tell you how helpful it is for people to know.
Yes.
There are so many
It is.
details that
Yes.
need to be addressed surrounding anything, like any type of illness like this. Uh, ringing the bell for you. Ringing
Thank you.
the bell, James. Let's get some applause. Yeah,
And I
Thank
like
you.
I
awesome.
like to encourage men too to know as much about. Now
Oh,
we already mentioned about men can have breast cancer
breast
too, but
cancer.
yeah.
men know just as much about your mates, your wife, your significant
Mhm.
others, breast cancer, just as much as she knows, and insist if they don't want to tell you, insist to find out what kind of medications they're taking. The more you know, the more helpful you can be, and the more sensitive you can
True.
be because they need that. And sometimes you have to put up with some attitude because
Yes.
I definitely had it when I was going through my thing. Some days, I wanted to blame everybody, and I just wasn't pleasant to be around. But those people, the more they know about what you're going through, the more they
Mhm.
understand and the more patient they will be. If they don't know, they just think you being an a-hole, so,
That's true.
you just have to share everything. And especially men, make sure you pay attention when breast
Absolutely.
cancer month or all year, make sure you keep up with that stuff.
Yes.
Don't think that, oh, that's something for them to worry about. I'll just be around if they need me, but just get to know as much as you can about it, just like she will about your prostate.
Yes.
Exactly. So true.
That's very true.
Yeah. Okay.
This has
but
been a good
but
time, guys. I did not realize the time had flown by so fast.
What
It's
time is?
already,
Oh, it is 8:30. Yeah.
yeah,
yeah, but
stuff, good
you
stuff.
don't have to cut it right off. But I want you ladies to promise to, even though we do this during breast cancer month, but these kind of subjects we need to talk about all year round. So if we call you
Great.
in February or May and say let's talk about what's going on, or how are you doing and what's your experience, or if you just want to be able to talk to people and let them know about what you're going through. It could be anytime. And, somebody might not listen this month, but they might be
Yeah,
listening in
That's right.
May,
that's true.
That's right.
So uh, I believe in focusing on whatever month is being recognized, but, we need to recognize all year round, just like anything.
Agreed.
Heart
Yeah.
disease, domestic violence, and I mean
Hmm.
all that stuff,
Yeah.
and that's what we're all about, sharing that information and trying to also have a good time with it. I know it's a serious subject. We talked about this, Shona, serious things that we talk about, but the more at ease or relaxed we can make people feel when they come on here and talk, the more they will reveal and the more you might help somebody. And it's
That's true.
therapeutic. I
It
believe
is.
it's
Very
therapeutic to talk
therapeutic.
about it.
And I
Hmm.
Because a
would
long
also,
time ago, people didn't talk about breast cancer.
that's
I
Oh,
right.
Right.
mean,
and we
and
talked
a lot
about
of people
that. People,
died.
Breast
yeah,
period.
people used to
Uh,
die, and you went to the funeral.
you,
You just
Didn't
said
know
they
what
you know
happened.
died.
what
You
they
didn't know
died
what
of.
they died from because
You
Right.
didn't know
nobody
how.
knew. The
They
wife
didn't
didn't
know.
know, or
Right.
That's right.
just got up and he was there.
They
But
died, but they could have
yeah,
had cancer, breast
yeah. I
Also,
cancer.
mean,
They probably had breast cancer, but didn't.
well,
But nobody ever talked about it.
well,
that's right.
they died from something.
They
Yeah.
It
did.
just, but
Because
it just
we
wasn't
didn't
talked
talk
about.
about
So
breast at all.
Yeah.
Those
yeah,
parts
Uh-uh.
but
of
the
your
That was
body.
importance of it
taboo.
No.
and the options that you may have, just like
Right.
the two of you took different routes as far as uh, the treatments you had. You
Hmm.
know,
Yeah.
so it's all kinds, and just like you mentioned, Renee, you didn't realize how many different kinds.
Yeah. I don't
And
really.
then you come up
Right.
here with the triple negative. That's ooh, you know,
Yes.
you really
Well,
Yeah.
got to
That's
catch
something.
that early. You
Yeah. You
always
can't
have
mess
to catch
around with
Yes.
that.
knowledge is
Yeah.
power.
It is.
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power. Yes,
Knowledge
And
is
indeed.
always
power.
advocate for yourself. Do your
That's right.
research.
Advocate for yourself.
Exactly.
That's a
I
big
would
point.
be remiss if I did not mention that we also need to support our small business supporters of the show. The t-shirt that I am wearing was created by our guest we had last week. She created it
Oh,
for
that's a
breast
picture.
cancer.
Oh, very
Um,
nice.
and they are for sale. Part of the proceeds goes to breast cancer research. She's actually in our audience today. Chris, if you would put the information in the comments on how people can contact you if they would like to get one of your beautiful shirts and support breast cancer research. That's what we do for our people.
Yeah,
Love
hopefully
it.
she'll put
Yeah.
the information up there and I'll show it on the screen there.
Okay.
So, any last words from our survivors? And I
Yeah.
always say, if you had a chance and you in front of some young ladies or high schoolers, college, or even young adults, what would your message to them be? And I think like the recommended thing is 40, and Renee, I think you said
Yes.
that's when they start paying for insurance, but they might have to
Yes.
revisit that and pay for it at a younger age
That's
because
true. I
Yes.
think
you know
I think as
there's
Especially if
no
they
guarantee it's going to wait till you're 40 to hit you.
Right. Because when I was getting my treatment, there were some young girls in there. I mean, in
yeah.
Hmm.
their 30s. Yeah, especially if it runs in the family. You need to go before 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even as a
So
teenager, I think you should do
mhm,
self exams because you
yeah.
don't know. It could be a hereditary thing and you don't know. Could be genetics.
Hmm.
And
Yes.
you may be the first person to actually develop breast cancer, but other family members have the genes, but you actually developed the breast cancer. I've seen people as young as 20
I have to.
pass
Yep.
away from
Yes.
not
And
getting the treatment. Or you know what, even younger people, they may not even know what it is. They may think it's something that's going to pass. Oh, this is what I
Mhm.
feel today, but it might not be there this
hmm
time next week, and it's too late when they do get checked out. And
Yes. And then
you
there's
know,
stage
Yeah,
4.
that's
yeah,
Yes.
true. And
it
you
could be
should
one of
do
those.
those self exams
hmm
even before the age of 40.
yeah,
When I mentioned that I had a lump, of course, I was at a higher risk because my grandmother actually passed away from breast cancer after she had
okay,
had both of her breasts removed.
hmm
When the lump was discovered in my breast, I was actually in my upper 30s. I want to say I
okay,
wasn't even 40 yet.
uh-huh.
So I had already started having mammograms anyway, but
Hmm.
it is never too early, especially if you have a high risk.
And I
Yeah.
also suggest you get, if you are diagnosed with breast cancer, get the genetics test done for other family
Yes.
members. Like
Mhm.
I decided to go ahead and have my genetic test done because I have a daughter. And even men, they develop breast cancer too. I have children, grandchildren. And so I just wanted to see if this was something that would be an issue in the future. Luckily, it's not, but you still don't know.
No,
That's
you
right.
don't
Yeah.
know.
You don't know.
So,
Even though it doesn't show that I have the genetics to pass this on, that
Yes.
doesn't mean you won't get it.
that's right.
So
Because
again,
I've had the genetic test and it said everything was okay, that I wouldn't pass it on. But my sister had it. So,
Yeah,
but now, I think her daughter, she has a daughter. So her daughter's in her 30s. So she needs to at least go check herself out.
that's right.
right,
Yeah, because
right.
I think I was the first one that I know in my family who had breast cancer.
Wow.
Uh, so, but see, people a long time ago didn't talk about
That's true.
breast cancer. You don't know what they died of. They just say
That's
they got
right.
sick and died.
They
Yeah,
may
Yeah.
not even know.
you're
Yeah, that's
right.
what I said. They may not even know because
They
the
didn't know.
research has gotten so much better now, and it's much more easier to detect now, and more
And
resources are
treat.
out there,
And treat.
and
That's
and treatments are better.
hmm
So, long time ago, they didn't know what to treat. They just know you got sick and died.
yeah.
And a lot, excuse me, a lot has to do with the environment too these days because
Yeah.
Portsmouth Health Department did a study here in Portsmouth, and where the cancers were high in women, and they looked at the zip codes, and the zip codes where high concentration of African Americans were living there,
Wow.
and living near train tracks and trash. Shona, growing up in our neighborhoods, we could smell the trash. We lived so close
Oh,
to it,
wow.
Yeah,
and it was just a way of life. It was just a way
that's
of life.
right.
Okay,
That's
there's
right.
the soap factory. We used to call it the soap
And,
factory.
and
That's the soap factory
you're
smelling like that,
constantly
and
breathing in those carcinogens.
breathing in, and
Yes. Mm-hmm.
environmentally, it probably was really harming us. So
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
the
And same
environment
thing with the
now,
foods and hormones. And
right,
they're
and
putting it in foods and stuff like
right,
that. So yeah. Wow.
the
welcome back,
canned
Renee.
goods,
Yes, I don't know. It
preservatives.
keeps going out.
Yes.
I'm doing this on my tablet, so
It's all right.
That's
It's
okay.
okay.
We got the most important parts,
Okay,
and you
yeah.
still here. So just keep
Okay,
coming back in, whenever you go. We wait for you. But anyway,
okay.
yeah, I think that's about the end. The only thing I have, and Shona, I have a story about. It was a friend of mine, one of my neighbors, a guy, and when we were young, we were growing up, and one time he was feeling something, two little knobs on his breast, right where the nipples are,
Uh-huh.
and he thought he was turning into a girl.
How old
But it
was he
was
again?
it was just a natural thing that men go through. And I bring that up because the men can get the breast cancer too. And,
Right.
and I don't know how they check men for it. I don't think they check it the same way. I think that would be a little
You said it's
difficult.
a natural thing, James.
Huh?
I have three brothers. I don't recall any of
No, I mean
that.
he was real young, so he was starting to develop a chest. Sometimes
Oh,
the little guys don't even have a chest, but
okay.
it
Yeah.
was in the nipple area, so he was getting scared because he had a lot of sisters, and he thought that
Oh,
maybe
bless his
he
heart.
was, he was meant to be one more sister. He thought he was turning into a girl, and but that probably required some kind of counseling, but we didn't have that back
Counseling from his parents, and parents did not talk openly
Uh,
like that back then.
Oh,
Uh,
God.
People didn't go to
then.
counseling back then. No.
Well,
oh,
the counseling
counseling
from
was
his
out of the
parents
question.
would have been a slap and wake up, boy. You ain't turned
Wake
into
Yeah.
up,
a
boy.
girl.
Stop talking stupid. Yeah.
You tripping.
You're
Right.
tripping.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to embarrass me. Yeah.
Right.
Uh,
Don't you tell nobody that.
Not another soul.
Chris says she's getting her BRCA tomorrow. Uh,
What's that?
BRCA.
what's
BRCA.
that?
I'm not sure.
BRCA breast.
Need to be enlightened, Chris, on what a BRCA is. Breast BR.
Yeah,
It's the
don't let don't.
BRCA treatment.
Got
Reconstruction
me.
or something?
BRCA, is that the genetic test?
Oh, is it?
I actually don't remember the name of it.
Okay. It could
I
be.
know it started with the B.
She went through a breast cancer journey. She was on our
Okay.
last podcast and
Okay.
shared her
Okay.
journey with us.
Okay.
So I need
Bless
to
her
look.
heart.
Well,
Oh,
this is
I
the
put up
age
here. She said it's whether she
BRCA.
has the gene, whether she
See,
has
that's
the
Oh,
what I
gene
that's
or
thought
the
not.
it
genetic
was.
testing.
BRCA
Okay.
gene is the first thing that came up when I
Okay.
Googled
Mhm.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the BRCA test.
Oh,
Okay.
I think
it's
that's what it's called.
cancer risk and genetic testing.
Okay.
Yes.
We learned something else. I
We
love it.
did.
I
So
love
that's
it.
something else you need to add to your visits, your checkups and
Yeah.
visits and everything.
Yeah. I've had
And
that test. Yeah.
Yeah, I've
mhm.
had it done.
Hmm.
And I think anyone that's been diagnosed should go ahead and get it done
Yeah.
just for your
Yeah.
other family members so they'll know if they need to be more vigilant in getting
That's
those
smart.
mammograms. We're supposed to. We don't always do what we're supposed to do. But
So
if
it's
you get that
something
genetic
you should
test done, it
ask.
might, huh? What's that?
Is it something you ask for, or it's not a part of a regular
I don't
exam
believe
that your primary gives? You probably have to go to a specialist for
My
that.
you would have
oncologist
to have some
recommended
people in
me.
your family closely related
Yeah.
to you if you in order to request something like that or have them approve it. If your mom,
Okay.
dad, sisters, brothers, or something, grandparents, they will go ahead and pay for it just as
Hmm.
what is it called, preventative medicine or something like
Yeah.
that. But just to go in off the street and say, "Hey, I would like to be genetically tested for cancer," I
Oh,
don't think they'll do that. You have to
They'll
have
yeah.
be like,
a medical
they'll
reason.
be like, pull out your checkbook. We'll do it.
We'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Insurance is
Yeah.
not going to cover.
I think in my case, my oncologist knew somebody, she recommended me to go to someone. So he
Okay.
he kind of helped me out with that. So
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, my oncologist did.
Yeah.
Well,
It can be
My
just bring
expensive
it
out
up.
of
Just
pocket.
yeah,
bring it up, and you never know what kind of
yeah,
referrals you might get or what kind
That's
of
true.
yeah. He
answers you might
referred
get.
me. And he knew
Mhm.
someone, who does that type of test. So he referred
Okay.
me to her.
Again,
Yeah.
Advocate for yourself.
no sense.
Advocate for yourself.
And this last request, if anybody knows a male that has had breast cancer, you know,
I've heard
please
of them like
contact
that.
us and let us know. I like to really like to have a male. You know, that's probably one of those things some men might not admit to, but I think more today, men are more open
Mhm.
to talk
Exactly.
about than they were during our parents' days. You know, the man is not even going to admit he has a cold because
He's not.
he
That's
know
not
he has.
man.
I
Yeah,
mean,
It's
it's
not
not
man. The
manly,
men
right?
don't get colds. You know,
it's not
It
manly.
and and
wasn't
plus
Couldn't
even
get
they
them a
they
little.
use
that men
they were the
wouldn't talk
bed
about
winners
prostate.
and they couldn't afford to be off work. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
so they just had to fight through it. You know, whatever ailment they had to fight through it. But
yeah.
yeah,
So
give
if
us a
anybody
man.
knows a male who has had a breast cancer journey, by all means, we'd like to hear from them.
Yeah, is that something that males should check that test for the gene as well? I mean, you know, I don't know, but
It's hard to
we're
get
gonna
them to go to
ask
the
that.
doctor.
Yeah, we're
I
gonna
mean,
ask that whenever we get a medical professional up here,
Yes,
Yeah.
oncologist
Yeah.
up here,
yes, we're
talk about
working on
males.
that too. So just tune in to our future shows. You never know who might stop by.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Yes,
always learn something.
and make sure you subscribe to anybody watching
Please
tonight,
like,
and
share, subscribe, subscribe, subscribe.
this is our
okay.
own channel. It's a new channel, and so we need to grow, and
We're
so we
growing,
can
and we
do
want you
some
to grow
things
with
in the
us.
future. We can do some things in the future that can really help our purpose, our mission. There is a mission and a purpose for the reason we do this.
That
We
is
do
Mhm.
correct.
this one thing to keep in touch with our classmates, and another thing we want to be able to share information that might help somebody, and every once in a while have some fun. You know,
That's right.
nothing
Oh,
wrong with
always
that.
have some
Good
fun.
Make
stuff.
somebody
I
laugh. Nothing more
Yeah,
beautiful than a smile.
that's right.
That's true.
See, look
Hmm.
at
Isn't that
that. I
beautiful?
love it.
I know.
I love it.
Yeah.
That
Both of
wasn't
you
so
ladies
beautiful,
are
was it?
beautiful. Yeah.
Beautiful. Always
That looked
beautiful.
like a growl. Yeah. Anyway, ladies, thank you. Any last words, Shona?
I have had so much fun. This has been so relaxing. I can't even believe that I drank that half a bottle of wine the first podcast.
Yeah, you told me that, but you sound so good. I mean, you did
Oh,
well.
thank you,
She does. Maybe
Renee.
I should have had a
Yeah,
half a
because
bottle
I heard
today.
your
You did well
testimony.
too, Malika.
Oh, my nerves are shot, but thank you.
Really. Oh,
Listen, I'm
girl.
surprised my ring is still on my finger. I keep twisting it. And
Oh,
anyway, I got through it and I enjoyed it. It's very,
I did.
very helpful to
Yeah.
hear other people talk about their experiences. So
We've all
Yeah.
given you a virtual hand hug. How
it's
about that?
Yes.
all.
Yeah.
Thank y'all.
Yes. And
But
thank
Yeah.
you so much for being
Valika,
so open
before you
about
go,
having
Valika,
your breast removed. That is so
Valika,
brave.
Yeah, and
right, that was
I don't
brave.
regret it,
So
not one
brave.
time, not for one moment. I think that was the best decision I could have ever made. Didn't
Yeah.
even look back.
I had to
Yeah,
ring the bell for you.
Thank
yeah,
you.
My
and
Shiro.
and it's different for every woman. Valika,
Yeah.
before you go, since you are a realtor,
Uh-huh.
let people know how they can get in touch with you for consultation, for
Hmm.
to be their agent. Now,
She is in
are you a
Virginia.
dual? Are you a dual agent? You work both sides.
I can.
You know.
Yes.
No.
Matter of
Okay.
fact, I had one 3 weeks ago. So I
So
work with
you're
the buyer and the seller, so I can do both. I
okay.
am Balika Sawyer, realtor, Virginia, state of Virginia. I work with Caldwell Banker Premier. So if you're looking for a real estate agent, or in my case, a realtor, please reach out to me there. I'll be more than happy to help you start the buying process. I can explain everything to you, what you'll need to do. We also have Success Mortgage. It is a mortgage company that we work closely with. It's like a sister company, and they help people that are looking to buy homes with a credit score as low as 580. So that helps out a lot. And if you're not prepared at that very moment to be pre-qualified, we can put you into a credit repair program to help get your credit where it needs to be in order to get you a place to stay. And that usually it can take up to 5 or 6 months, and you'll be ready to buy a new home. Again, I am Balika Sawyer. I'm a full-time realtor, and I am ready to work with you and your family to find a place that is perfect for you.
Awesome. Malika,
Yes,
when you
and
get a chance, put that in the comments
I
so people
will.
yeah,
can refer back
and
to it.
Okay.
and
Thank
if
you.
you, if depending on the situation, if you've been renting
Yes, I do that
5 years
too.
or more, or 2 years, depending on the situation, at least
Hmm.
look into it.
Yes.
Get
Yes.
consultation on what you need to do to prepare
Hmm.
yourself. You might find out you're ready right now with
Yes.
Yes.
everything in place to buy a house, and it makes sense if you because the rent these days sometimes can be
Hmm.
more than the mortgage, and then with the
That is so
mortgage,
true.
you're
Most
building
of the time.
equity. Down the road, you might need that equity to send your kids
Hmm.
to college, so,
Hmm.
or other
And
things that might need.
put that fear to bed, and you
Yeah.
possibly could still be afraid to do it, but the best thing to do is to speak with a mortgage broker or lender of your choice. See what your buying power is. Get pre-approved first before you start the process. That way, you're pre-approved for 350. You know exactly what it is, what bracket you need to stay in, a price range you need to stay in, and it doesn't have to be a headache. When you get pre-approved, that cuts down on a lot of the stress of what you can and cannot do. Learn what your buying
Right.
power is first, and
Yeah,
then
no
you
use
start the
looking at
process.
houses you can't afford.
Yes.
Bingo.
They the ones you fall in love with. Well, I love that house.
Yes.
Absolutely.
500,000. Okay.
Yes. It's like,
Okay.
you mean I can't afford this one? No, no.
Yeah.
500 is not in
No,
your, no, no. But, like, again, make it easy on
maybe
yourself
in
and find
Georgia.
out first, and then let's move forward.
Great advice.
Yeah,
Okay. Thanks a lot. We appreciate
I
it.
sure
Any
will.
last words from you, Renee?
Uh, I'm sorry. What was the question again?
I was just saying, any last words from you?
Well, I want to thank Shona for inviting me because just like I said before, I don't mind sharing my journey because I know it can help somebody and it can probably ease some of their fears because it's a fearful thing because a lot of people thought a long time ago uh, cancer. Somebody told you you had cancer, it was a death sentence.
Yes.
So yeah, so I'm always available, to share my information. I don't mind. I can tell you step by step with everything that went on. So, I don't mind sharing my journey.
Thank you
And
so
thank you, Shona,
much.
for inviting me.
My
So,
pleasure.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank
and we
you.
certainly appreciate that, Renee. And
you're
just so you
welcome.
know, when I was trying to look you up, it's a lot of Renee Millers on
Oh
Facebook.
yeah.
Even a few men
Wow.
named Renee.
Yeah.
Thank God for the picture because I almost sent them a invite.
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah, we'll be happy
My
to.
first name is Vernita. My first name is Vernita.
Yeah,
Vernita
that's
Renee is
how
my
I
middle name.
distinguished it when I saw your
Yeah.
email and I saw that V, and then when I was
Yeah.
looking, I saw that in parentheses. I said, okay, this is her. And then I
Yeah,
saw
okay.
the job y'all had in common. But
Oh,
it would have
okay.
been a shame if I had to sent male
It's
Renee
the wrong.
and he just showed up on the feed. You know,
Hmm.
Well, I guess it wouldn't have been a bad thing if he had had breast cancer.
if he had
Yeah,
breast cancer, it would
right.
have been okay. But
Hmm.
didn't want to take that chance. We
So,
wanted you. We wanted you.
is there a Facebook ID or Instagram or that you want to give out in case somebody wants to reach out to you?
I am on Facebook, just general information, I'm damn on Facebook, but
Yeah, just
uh
look for that parenthesis with her. What you say your name would be?
I
Benita.
think it's under Renee Miller.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah,
You can look up.
it
the
is.
parenthesis behind your name, and it has
Oh, I
VR.
think it's okay. Okay, mean on Facebook?
yes.
Okay, I think it just says Renee Miller. I don't
Okay.
know whether it has Vernita Renee Miller on there.
That's just
Okay,
the email.
I'll yeah, it must just be the email. I'm sorry, but they know what you look like now because some people might want to
Okay.
have a personal
Rika,
conversation with you.
did you want to give out an ID for your business purposes or if they have
Yeah,
questions?
I'm just gonna type it in here,
Okay,
and
good.
hopefully we can help some people get that dream home.
Yes.
Yes, it's sitting out there
And
waiting.
invite us to the housewarming.
Absolutely.
So what's the uh what's the mortgage rate right now?
Listen, I want to say I spoke with someone today and they were saying it was like they got a loan 5.6. I
Mm.
believe it's
Okay.
5.6. I was talking with Mr. James, Mr. Slim earlier today, and I was telling him if you can make an interest rate payment on a credit card of 39%,
Mm,
Mm.
surely you could be okay with investing in a home in your future. And if that's an issue for you, you can always refinance and get a lower
Yeah.
interest rate. So don't be discouraged by the interest rates. If you can make a high interest rate payment on a credit card, you should not have a problem making a somewhat high interest rate payment on a home. Just
yeah,
refinance at some point.
Yeah.
Today
right,
is
right.
the best day to buy a home.
Yeah, those credit cards can tie you up for a long time, and
Yeah.
if you don't
And it
need it
lowers
right
your credit
now,
score.
don't buy it. Get the house first.
Absolutely.
Then
Don't
you can
buy
put a
any
lot of
homes.
stuff in the
I mean,
house.
excuse me, don't buy any vehicles, don't make any big purchases. Go ahead and prepare to get your home 6 months in advance by getting rid of some debt because debt ratio, that's important. You don't
That's the
want to
ratio.
be upside down, right? So the best thing to do, I suggest anyway, is to prepare yourself at least 6 months in advance to get rid of all that debt. Put your money aside in an account and just let it sit there. Don't touch it. Let them see that you know how to manage money.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
when the time comes, they can say, okay,
that's the
this is
first thing
sitting
they
there.
check, how
Oh,
you
Yes,
manage
they
your
absolutely.
do
money.
check that.
Don't
Absolutely.
don't even apply for credit, because that shows up there. Even if you
Hmm.
don't get it or you don't want, don't even, don't, it's a lot of things you can do. So contact her and she can tell you all the things you need to do
Yes,
to
absolutely.
prepare
I'll be more
yourself.
than happy to walk you through. My experience as when I was a home buyer wasn't the best experience. So I make sure that if at all possible, I can make sure that no one else has that experience. It's a stressful thing. It's a
Yeah.
big purchase, a life altering, bank altering
It is. It really is.
purchase, and I want to make things as easy as I possibly can.
That's important.
Yes. And so I feel like if you have the right person, you're working with the right realtor, it makes the purchase, it makes everything a little easier to deal with. No, you don't want to come off all of that money, but you feel better about it if you're working with someone that's good.
Yeah.
I didn't want
Alika,
to come off of the money.
you put
Huh?
it in the private chat. You put it
What's
in
the
the
problem?
private chat. In
I'm
the
sorry,
private
this is
chat
my first
only
time doing that.
only we can see it.
Yes,
Just
you
just put
did.
it in the
Oh, so where do
just
I
put it in the comments. Put it in the
oh, gotcha.
comments, and I can share it with the rest
Oh,
of the
you
people.
too. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah,
There
we'll
we
wait for
go.
that before we
Glad you
go
caught
off.
that, James.
Huh?
I said, I'm glad you
What you
caught
say?
that. I see it too. I said, I'm glad you caught
Yeah.
that. I see it too in the private
Yes,
chat.
This is
indeed.
so, listen, I'm learning something new today.
Yes.
I've never done this before, and I'm so glad
Yes.
that
Yeah.
you guys asked me to.
You've done so well.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
No, I'm learning something every day too. I just talking to my 7-year-old granddaughter the other day and picked up a few tips
Oh, I
For
bet you
some reason,
did.
it's
because
not
that's all she
allowing
What
me.
did
knows.
you
That's all
learn?
she knows is this technology. She's
Oh
Oh
born
yeah,
yeah.
into it. So
they
Well,
come
they
into
come into the world like
exactly,
that.
yeah,
They
exactly.
come into the world. Yeah.
Well, for some reason, it's not allowing me to join the chat.
You can't comment
So,
on the
do you
YouTube.
can you post
yeah.
that for me?
I'll post it later after the show. I'll post it
Okay,
on Facebook and I'll post it
Or
on
actually,
our
when you
channel.
if you watch the playback, you can comment too.
okay,
Yeah.
I'll do that. But yeah, please share my information. Let me help some people. Let's
Awesome.
Yes, indeed.
work some things out here.
I love that.
All
All
right.
right,
Get that
guys.
house. Your
I
biggest
feel good.
investment. All right.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you guys for having me. This has been so much fun. I really
Yeah.
appreciate you
Thank
guys
you.
inviting
Yeah. Thank you.
Not
Thank
more
you.
than we appreciate having you.
me.
Yes, indeed. We
Thank
will have you back again.
Thank
Indeed.
you. I'll be
So,
happy to do it.
okay.
Renee, high five.
Yeah, same to you.
I'm ringing the
Thank
bell.
you.
That bell is so
Uh-huh.
loud, y'all.
You on countdown. Oh,
Okay,
okay.
All
we're
right,
going out
guys. I
now.
appreciate y'all. Have a good one.
Okay.